In this video, I'm just going to show you quickly the NoteBoard Web part because it's quite useful and unique as well. So I think it deserves its own video just to explain how it works. So I'll go here and I'll create a bit of white space and I'll go on insert the NoteBoard Web part under social collaboration, NoteBoard. It says enables users to leave short publicly viewable notes about this page. So it does what it says in the tin. Here it is. People can view and add notes quite easily. The first thing to consider when you're looking at a noteboard is, first of all, you have to have the user profile service configured. So most people are using this, but if you're not, just important to understand that this will not work properly because it uses the user profile database. It's because it's a social collaboration feature. So the second point to note is if you're ever considering on rolling up these notes or using them elsewhere, they're not stored in a list anywhere. You see here that when you create notes, they'll appear under your profile. That's actually where they appear. So they're actually held within their own table in the social database. So if you want to access these, you'll need to manipulate the database directly to get that information out. So it's a bit difficult to do that. I'll go to the web part properties, and you'll basically see you have the standard web part properties, but if you go into the custom properties, you'll see you have the ability to display the note count and enable new notes. That's fairly standard. But this final option here, URL for note, that's very, very important. When using a noteboard, the noteboard attaches itself to the page. So if the page or the URL change, all the notes will be lost, which is quite frustrating, obviously, for most people. So you really want to set this URL for note so that the noteboard has its own URL, its own space. So this page can change to change its name, change its URL, and the noteboard will always stay there. Additionally, a nice other little feature of the URL for note field that's here is you can actually take a bunch of different noteboards on different pages, configure the same URL for all of them, and they'll share notes with each other. So rather than if you're trying to collect feedback from a bunch of different areas, but you don't want to have to go to each noteboard, you could use the URL, a single URL for each one, and people could post on noteboards all over the place, and they would all be together in a single noteboard. So it's quite a useful little tool. Doesn't really do anything more than that. And as I say, it's difficult to get at these notes other than to just to view them because they're in the social database. So it's very important to be aware of that if you're going to use the noteboard for anything in your SharePoint site.